What began as a whisper inside Karnataka's Congress corridors has now turned into a full-scale political earthquake. A government that came to power with a thumping majority now finds itself trapped in never-ending speculation, factionalism, and infighting. And at the center of the storm stands one man, Siddaramaiah. On Wednesday, Siddaramaiah appeared before the media but declined to comment on the discussions in Delhi, stating that he would speak on Thursday on the issue. But the bigger question is this: is Karnataka going to witness a smooth leadership transition, or is this the beginning of a political rupture that could redefine the Congress in the South? Hello and welcome to The Print. I'm Sharan Puvarna, and today we decode the high-stakes power struggle inside Karnataka Congress and why this political drama is far from over. For months, Karnataka politics has looked less like a stable government and more like a coalition surviving on fragile compromise. Every few weeks, the same questions returned. Will Siddaramaiah step down? Will D.K.Shivakumar finally become the Chief Minister? Or has the Congress High Command finally made up its mind? And now, after months of suspense, the answer may finally be here. According to people familiar with the developments, Siddaramaiah has agreed to step down as Chief Minister, paving the way for his deputy, D.K.Shivakumar. But even now, nothing is simple. Because in Karnataka's Congress politics, every solution creates a new crisis. The turning point reportedly came after Rahul Gandhi held a one-on-one meeting with Siddaramaiah in Delhi. Sources say that the message was direct. The party wants a transition. And Siddaramaiah, after prolonged resistance and negotiations, is said to have agreed. But here's where the story becomes more complicated. There is still no official announcement, no formal confirmation, nor any clarity on timelines. And perhaps more importantly, no clarity on the conditions attached to Siddaramaiah's supposed exit. Because for Siddaramaiah, this is not just about resigning from office, it is about protecting a political legacy built over decades. At 77, Siddaramaiah is not just another Congress leader. He is the face of Karnataka Congress's welfare politics, the architect of the Bhagya brand of schemes, the man who became the face of the guarantees long before they became a national Congress election strategy. And beyond welfare politics, Siddaramaiah represents something even more significant: Ahinda, the powerful social coalition of minorities, backward classes, and Dalits. For years, Siddaramaiah positioned himself as the champion of the oppressed and backward classes, directly challenging the traditional dominance of Karnataka's two most influential caste blocs, the Vokkaligas and the Lingayats. And that is precisely why this transition is politically explosive, because Siddaramaiah is not just stepping aside for any other Congress leader, but potentially being replaced by D.K. Shivakumar, a leader who belongs to the dominant Vokkaliga community. Now, to understand why this matters, you have to understand Karnataka politics. In Karnataka, caste equations are not secondary to politics. They are the foundation of politics here. The Lingayats have historically leaned towards the BJP, especially under B.S. Yediyurappa. The Vokkaligas, a land-owning agrarian community, have traditionally backed the Janata Dal Secular, led by H.D. Devegowda and H.D. Kumaraswamy. And the Congress has relied heavily on Ahinda, which is an acronym for backward classes, minorities, and Dalits. The social coalition became the backbone of Siddaramaiah's rise, which is why many within his camp fear that replacing Congress Party's only major OBC chief minister could alienate backward communities. This argument has repeatedly been pushed before the High Command as well. Removing Siddaramaiah is not just a leadership change, it is a social message, they argue. But on the other side stands D.K. Shivakumar, the principal challenger to the Chief Minister's post, a troubleshooter and a leader who believes his time has finally come. For years, Shivakumar has projected himself as the next major Vokkaliga leader, challenging even the dominance of Devegowda within the community. Several Vokkaliga leaders and seers have openly demanded that Shivakumar be given the Chief Minister's post. And importantly, Shivakumar believes that there was a promise made to him in 2023. A rotational arrangement. Siddaramaiah first, Shivakumar later. Which explains why the leadership issue refused to disappear even after the Congress won 135 seats in 2023. Instead of governance dominating headlines, Karnataka politics became consumed by one question: who really controls the government? And that constant power struggle slowly damaged the perception of the government itself. Analysts repeatedly argued that despite a massive mandate, the Congress government appeared dysfunctional. One analyst even said that if you didn't know better, it almost felt like a coalition government. That is perhaps the greatest irony of Karnataka today. A party that stormed to power with one of the biggest mandates in recent history spent 3 years fighting internal battles. Not opposition pressure, not coalition instability, but a war within. Now, the Congress High Command appears to have decided that the uncertainty cannot continue any longer. But replacing Siddaramaiah may not necessarily end the crisis. In fact, it could deepen it. Because Siddaramaiah still commands enormous influence, he remains one of Karnataka's biggest mass leaders. He enjoys loyalty from ministers, MLAs, and large section of backward communities. And while those close to him insist that he will not rebel against the party's decision, they also admit something equally important. Siddaramaiah will not surrender control easily. Already, intense negotiations are underway. Questions remain unanswered. Will Siddaramaiah take a national role? Will there be multiple deputy chief ministers? Who gets key portfolios? Who controls Karnataka Congress unit? And perhaps the biggest question of it all, what happens to the balance of caste equations inside the Congress? Because this transition is not merely administrative. It's deeply social, very emotional, and very, very political. The BJP, meanwhile, is watching closely. The party has already described Siddaramaiah's replacement as an admission of failure. Some BJP leaders have even claimed that Karnataka could be headed towards early elections. And politically, the BJP sees an opportunity here. Because while the Congress struggles internally, the BJP-JDS alliance is trying to consolidate the Lingayat and Vokkaliga support ahead of 2028. Which means every move that the Congress makes today could shape the next election battle. Online too, emotions are running high. Supporters of Siddaramaiah are questioning why a backward classes leader should be removed after delivering such a massive victory. Some are even suggesting that he launch a regional party. Though leaders close to him insist that Siddaramaiah is unlikely to display what they call his old JDS streak, a reference to his bitter fallout with Deve Gowda before he joined the Congress in 2006. Still, the tension is unmissable, and the Congress High Command knows this, because the last thing it wants is to repeat what the BJP did with B.S. Yediyurappa, a mass leader sidelined only to remain politically indispensable. As of now, no official announcement has been made on the subject. Siddaramaiah continues to meet loyalists, negotiations are continuing behind closed doors, and Delhi remains at the center of the action. Which means that despite all the speculation, Karnataka is still in a state of political suspense. But perhaps the clearest takeaway is this. The Congress has solved one problem only to trigger another. Because leadership transitions are never just about power. They're about egos, legacy, identity, caste, control, and most importantly, survival and relevance. And in Karnataka, all of those forces are now colliding at once. For now, Siddaramaiah may be preparing to step down, but the biggest battle has only just begun. Thank you for watching.